We're joined live by criminal defense lawyer Joseph Newberger now. Thanks so much for joining us. So help us understand how police got to that second-degree murder charge. A lot of people might be scratching their heads here, especially because police believe this woman was kidnapped, assaulted, and then killed.
Well, I think the charges may be upgraded as the investigation goes on. So at this stage, clearly, they suspect on reasonable basis that this individual was the one who killed her, and therefore it's a second-degree murder charge. But considering he's also accused of kidnapping and forcible confinement, which I think are still live charges, a death in the course of a kidnapping and a forcible confinement would result in a first-degree murder finding anyways. So I suspect that there will be some more amendments to the charges once there's a further investigation, because the police are still trying to understand the exact relationship and the motive behind why she was taken from her place and then ultimately found dead.
Yeah, Joseph, so many questions about this harrowing case, including that relationship. What was the motive here? What happened on July 25th when this woman went missing? What stands out to you about what police are saying and what they're not saying at this time?
I think for them, there's a real gaping hole as to why, and the police are trying to put together the pieces as to how these individuals first met, what was the cause of this alleged assault that occurred at her place of employment, and then how did that next lead to this individual essentially kidnapping her and taking her to a remote location where it seems that, of course, if he was seen with a green bin at some point, obviously he was responsible for her death or had been planning something in that regard. So what stands out right now is there's a lot of information that the police need to still gather on this homicide investigation, and they're still at the early stages because, of course, they were just searching for the body initially, and unfortunately she was found dead. So I'm sure they'll get many of these answers over the next few days to a few weeks.
Yeah, and can you talk about the indignity to a human body charge as well? Obviously, this woman's remains were found in a large green garbage bin. So very tragic. Can you talk to us about that charge?
Yeah, so it's not only is this very tragic, it's gruesome. So, when remains are found within a garbage bin,
Yeah.
And you have the indignity to the body, the likelihood is something was done to the body so that it can be in the garbage bin. So it's usually dismemberment of the body and the mechanism in which it's done. So that's why there's that added charge. It's an aggravating feature. And it's an appropriate charge to lay in these circumstances. It's very horrible.
And how do you think, and obviously you're not a part of this investigation, but help the public understand how police may have been able to identify a suspect this quickly and then lay those initial charges of kidnapping, forcible confinement, and aggravated assault. How are they able to determine that so quickly?
So one of the key features was this white van that the individual was driving. But considering that there was this assault that occurred, or alleged assault that occurred at the location of her employment, they would have had information as to who attended, some CCTV coverage and security to identify possibly what he was driving. And then other sightings of that van were noted to be in the area where ultimately they were focused on the search. And they made the arrest based upon a number of factors that they put together. But it seems to me that this would have all started with her place of employment, which was information I had not heard before, that in fact he attended at that location and then some altercation ensued. That would have provided a robust source of information to identify the perpetrator and then follow a stream of evidence from the public and other means to identify him and then make the initial arrest.
Okay, criminal defense lawyer Joseph Newberger, thanks so much for your insights. Appreciate your time.